Really quick, everyone, if you do not want to hear my intro and get straight into the video, please just skip to this timestamp, and if you're sticking around, welcome. If there's a specific part of the video you'd like to get to, I'll have this entire video timestamps in the pinned description and the pinned comment, and that red bar right below you. If for some reason that doesn't work, go check out the pinned comment. This entire video will be timestamped if you want to watch something. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. I wanted to make this video for a really long time, and I think I've come up with some really good ideas. Today, I'm going to be showing off my ideas for an entire Fortnite season. This season will follow the current season that we are in, that being Chapter 2, Season 5, but with the storyline, I thought I did a pretty good job in basically making this video relevant even after the season. So stay tuned, guys. Let me know what you think afterwards. Let's get started. Let's start with the season trailer and a little bit of the storyline. I made a really short one, but I'll explain everything afterwards. Take a look. That's right, Midas and his agents return but with quite the twist. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen after this actual Fortnite season regarding the storyline, but unless the map changes completely and we move on to Chapter 3, there is a way to make this story relevant. Anyways, the trailer starts off with Midas in a hideout on the map. This hideout is fairly new, but well hidden in the mountains at the edge of the map. We see him looking at a screen, appearing to be thinking, but then the camera tilts a little bit and we see he's with Jules. Unfortunately, we still don't know the relationship between these two, but it's still hinted that these two are either brother and sister, or they could be lovers. We see them make a silent agreement towards each other and get ready to move on. They're working on something, but what? We'll find out soon, but for now, this is just the start of the season. We'll find out more shortly. Now, logging into Fortnite, you will of course take a look at the new battle pass. I won't go into too much detail with it, but I want to give you an idea of what's going on with it. Something I have always wanted to see is an Anubis skin. I always thought he'd make for a really cool character in Fortnite, so that is the tier 1 skin. As you progress in the battle pass, you'll be able to unlock more of his set. Also, if I'm able to find any concepts online, I will toss them on screen here. In the past, you will also see some mummy cosmetics, as well as a lost soul or dark magic person, and types of skins that relate to Anubis. You know what I mean? Oh, and the pass needs a girl for people to simp over, so I was thinking like a Princess Leia dress type of girl when she was kind of out in the desert, someone like that. You know, that should satisfy people out there who we haven't had a really crazy skin since Demi or Calamity, but you know, need a skin for those guys, so we'll toss one in there. Plus, who doesn't like Princess Leia? It's not necessarily Princess Leia. Maybe that could be a collaboration. You never know. Anyways, again, you'll see why it's themed this way, but that's only half the theme. The other half won't be quite spy themed because we've already been through that, but we will see a couple more cosmetics like Ohm back in Chapter 2 Season 3 with Jules' creations, maybe another bird or a robot or something like that. A lot of people like Ohm, including myself, so I would like to have another Jules creation like that. You know what I mean? It really could be anything. A couple other skins you'll see is you'll have a new agent working for Midas, but it won't be like the other boring spy skins. Or I shouldn't say boring because those skins are cool, but I feel like that we've had too many of them, if you know what I mean. Anyways, this agent will have a ridiculous amount of edit styles where he becomes more and more like someone who belongs alongside Anubis and everyone in that kind of world, and you'll see why later. Tier 100 will feature a Pharaoh, something we haven't had in Fortnite yet. It'll start out pretty basic, but there will be styles to make him reactive with spirits or magic and different gear and helmets. Think about all the possibilities you could go with this kind of skin. I think a Pharaoh would be pretty cool to have in Fortnite. And lastly, what's a battle pass without a meme skin? I thought it'd be fun to hopefully make something that everybody would like, and I've seen this concept kind of all over the place over the years. I don't want to take credit for this idea, but what about a reactive Kevin skin made of cube energy and reacts to getting shot? Of course, you could turn off the reactiveness in the locker, but you could have all kinds of stuff coming off from him, and I think this will make for a fantastic meme skin. And then I won't really go into too much detail, but the pass will have a few cool emotes and gliders like the usual battle pass does. I think people will be really happy with this, to be honest. Epic's creative team can do wonders with this kind of theme, and I'm surprised we haven't had this theme yet. If we haven't had it yet, I think it's coming. But you know what? This is Season Clen. Let's keep going. Oh, and one more thing. There's another emote with actual lyrics like I'm a cat or Planetary Vibe. We've got to have something like that. Those emotes are fantastic. Now, what would you do after the battle pass? Of course, you'd hop into a game. Let's take a look at the map. We begin the season with some very minor changes, but all that will change as the season progresses. That's something I loved about Season X. We started the season out with very minimal map changes, but each week we got something new and exciting to explore. I thought it'd be a fun idea to bring that idea back for this season and make it seem like it has a little bit more packed into it in a different kind of way. It'll make sense, don't worry. I want each week to have a little bit of a fresh meaning to it. Now, this message goes for the entire video, but please excuse my photoshopping skills. I know it needs a lot of work, but I'll get better eventually. So, again, there won't be a lot of changes at the beginning of the season, but the biggest change is there's a whole lot going on in the sandy area. The sand area has expanded, but there's quite a bit of temples and ruins and creepy looking POIs like you would imagine an Anubis area to have, with like coffins and everything like that inside the temples. It'd be fun to explore. That's the point. It would be very visually pleasing. The sandy area on the map is now an area with a lot of scenic change in the biome, but it never really had too much to it. Now it's flooded with cool stuff related to temples in Egypt. Another change to the map would feature the shark reverting to how it originally was, but with much added security. This will be a lot like how it was in Chapter Season 2 with the turrets and quite a bit of bots walking around. Now, there won't be a mythic weapon here, but there will be an extra room that you will have to break into where it features an office with a particular screen. It seems to be looking out in space, but you can't quite put together for sure what it's looking at. The only thing you will notice on the screen is you will see the mech that Singularity left in. You won't know what's going on with all that, but all you will know is that she is still out there. On the other screen, you will see Agent Jonesy with some text around him that you won't be able to read. This will be here to set up for the future, as well as get those theories going for the Fortnite lore lovers like myself. Moving on, we will take a look at the bottom part of the map in the mountains. Midas has taken over and has been living with Jules for a while on the down low. At first sight, it looks like a regular house with pictures of Midas and Jules together, looking all nice and nothing unusual going on about it. But once you enter, you'll be able to find a secret passage that takes you into a basement, kind of like what the old bunkers did in Wailing Woods. Just a huge laboratory, but of course, you don't know what Midas is working on. One thing you will see, however, is a closed off area that goes even deeper, kind of like you see for the trailer in Season 5 with Jones flying into the loop. Players will definitely be questioning this area. I want this season to be really heavy on the lore without drifting off into what Epic actually wants to do with the story. No matter what happens next, like I already mentioned, as long as we don't go into Chapter 3 after this, I feel like the story could just be plopped in there like a filler season of anime and just make it work no matter what. Moving on, let's take a look at another change that's not too crazy, but something I've always wanted to see. There isn't too much going around on the Fort Crumpet on the area over at the edge of the map over there, so I decided to make a new fishing dock landmark. And you might be wondering, what's this landmark called? Well, I went with the creative name of Fishing Dock. This place will have a lot of fishing barrels and the most fishing spots on the map by far, with almost 100% spawn rate. So if you're like me and you enjoy fishing, this is the spot for you. Or even if you need to get a challenge done or something, this is the spot to go if you want to fish. And man, honestly, I'd be dropping there every game. Now, we need to have a little talk about the grotto. Why is this thing still full of water? Storyline or not, I have a good one. The water drained back out the ocean. There, bang, there we go. The grotto's good as new. Wow, that was so hard. That was so hard, man. That really pulled on the story. What's going on? The grotto's supposed to be full. You know what? Chapter 2 season Clen. This is the grotto in its brand new form. It is a little bit wrecked just like the flood, but at least it's back. It's cool to have an underwater POI. Not underwater, underground. You know what I mean. Now, here's another thing that I decided to do in the new season. I love that we've been getting old POIs pop up here and there, so I decided to bring one back. And what is it, you ask? It's a small one, and in my opinion, one of the best. It is Starry Suburbs, a fantastic rift zone, and I want it to be exactly as it once was. The rift zone's still there with flying stars, shooting loot down, and everything like that. Perhaps with this being here, it could point to the scientist or another member of the Seven being around. How did this get here? You'll have to wait and find out. But Starry Suburbs is there. The rift zone is back. It's exactly how it was. Starry Suburbs, I missed ya. And for the final start of the season change, we have some random mountains pop up along the map. We've seen random stuff happen before, why not here? The bottom corner of the map, like Camp Cod, is such a fantastic idea. I absolutely adore fighting in the mountains. It just puts such an awesome twist on everything. That's something I miss about the Chapter 1 map the most, to be honest. So, I want more mountains. Let's plop a few around here, and I'm talking big mountains, like the one already on the map, by the way. Alright, so we went over the battle pass and the map changes. Now, let's talk loot pool, because that's next up when you happen in the game. You boot up, you go, you start, look at the map first, you drop in the game. Then you take a look at the loot pool, you start opening chests. Let's talk loot pool for this season. First, I want to say this season we're doing something that in my opinion Epic should have done a long time ago, and that is completely separating the casual and competitive loot pools. The only thing comp is getting this season is a weak and boring loot pool, so everything is fair. No mythics, no explosives, nothing like that. I won't walk through the entire thing, but I just think something along the lines of Chapter 2 Season 1-ish regarding the loot pool. Now, let's talk about pubs. I'll just walk through every weapon, starting with the shotguns, and in my opinion, Chapter 2 Season 5 had the best shotgun meta we've seen in a very, very long time, and I'd like to expand on that. And yeah, you know what? I know I'm gonna get a little bit of hate for this, but I think the meta is much better without the pump. At least the gold and purple pump you could do without. Just hear me out on this one. With the introduction of the lever action shotgun, I think it's a very good replacement for the pump. I think gray to gold, this gun should remain in the game no matter what. The gold version hits hard where it's not enough to, or it's enough to not be unfair. However, we also see the pump shotgun returning, but only the green and blue variants. One shots can happen, but it definitely won't happen often. What Chapter 2 Season 5 did so well with the shotgun meta is it gives the players an option to play with whatever playstyle they want, and again, I would like to expand on that. So we will also have the tack shotgun, gray to gold, the dragon's breath shotgun, purple to gold, the charge shotgun, gray to gold. The double barrel will also be present, but very rare to find. Again, just purple and gold. And finally, the combat shotgun, but just purple and gold. The nerf combat, by the way, not the ridiculous Season 9 one. I want there to be a ton of variety when it comes to this loot pool, especially with the shotguns. Let's get into the rest. Of course, the gray to gold assault rifles will be in the game, as well as the blue to gold tactical assault rifles. Now, hear me out on this. From gray to blue, the OG burst assault rifle will be unvaulted. Not the new fancy FAMAS that shoots 2 bullets, 3-round burst, OG burst AR. This is something I've missed and I've really wanted to see return for a long time. I think it fits really well into Fortnite, to be honest with you. Now for the twist though. The purple and gold AUG will also be in the game. 2-round bursts like we had the past few seasons. Again, I'm looking for variety here. I want nobody to know what they're going up against. Moving on with the assault rifles, the purple and gold thermal assault rifle will make its long-awaited return to the game, along with the purple and gold infantry rifle, hunting rifle, and the very controversial heavy sniper, again in purple and gold. I wanted the fun scoped weapons to come back. We're talking pubs. Remember, we separated the casual and competitive loot pool here. For the pistols, we will have the gray to gold pistol still in the game as usual, along with the return of the gold and purple revolvers and hand cannons. The hand cannons will be the pre-edited ones as we saw them in Chapter 1, being able to shoot one wood walls in one shot, absolutely no problem. And lastly, the gray and green flintlock pistols will be unvaulted, along with only the purple dual pistols. And yeah, I know this is a lot, but trust me, I will explain my reasoning soon. Moving into SMGs, quickly, we will have the TAC SMG green to gold, the suppressed SMG gray to blue, the rapid fire purple and gold, and finally the return of the gun that nobody really likes, the burst SMG gray to blue. And lastly, everyone, we have explosives. In Chapter 2 Season 5, rocket ammo is ridiculously hard to come by, and you know what, that's pretty nice at times. I want to make it a little bit easier to find rocket ammo, but not nearly as easy as in previous seasons. I want the players to actually have a few rockets because the guided missile and all of its meme strats are returning this Fortnite season, along with the regular RPGs, just the purple and gold variants of both. And that'll do it for the weapons, everybody. But I'm not done yet. What about, what's a season without items? We're gonna rapid fire these ones without explanations because that would take forever. I'll generalize the idea with it afterwards. Harpoon gun, fishing rod, pro rod, flare gun, minis, bigs, bandages, medkits, chug splashes, bandage bazooka, slurp juice, shadow bomb, balloons, glider redeploy, proximity mines, stink bombs, decoy grenades, junk rifts, storm flips, grenades, impulse grenades, shockwave grenades, boogie bombs, porta fortress, bouncers, and lastly, a nerfed version of the traps. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Kyle, that loot pool's absolutely ridiculous, and yeah, you're right. Before you crap all over this idea and say like, whoa, man, this is way too much, hear me out. Remember a couple seasons ago when the LTM Unvaulted made a return for the first time in God knows how long? Everybody in the community was raving about it. All my friends were too, everybody online. You saw Unvaulted come back. We got to play with all these old items. Why were they doing that? I'll tell you why. It's a combination of people missing OG Fortnite along with missing the fun and wacky things in the loot pool. You could argue that those two are essentially the same thing, but you get the point. I want randomness and wackiness to come back to the game. It's been missing for such a long time, and we've had a little bit of touches here and there, but with a loot pool this big and with all these crazy items in it, it would make for a fun and wacky season, that's for sure. Besides, if you don't like it or if you want to break from it, Arena is always there because, again, that loot pool is extremely simple. Another reason I wanted to make the loot pool huge is because I absolutely love not knowing what I'm fighting up against. For the past, I don't know, a really long time. You could always guess what your opponent was holding right before the fight and prepare accordingly. Now, with a loot pool this big, you are completely unable to predict what your opponent will have, and he cannot do the same for you either. That, in my opinion, will make battling in Fortnite that much better and absolutely more unique. Who knows, with fights being that different every time, maybe it'll help with the problem that people have when they start talking about the game being repetitive. This would help. I'm really curious as to what you think about this specifically, so let me know down below, guys. If you're enjoying the video so far, also be sure to hit the like button. But we aren't done yet. We still need to talk about the fish. Again, just like I did with the items, let's rapid fire the fish so that are already here and returned. Small fry, flopper, jellyfish, shieldfish, slurpfish, 0-point floppers, rift fish, vendetta flopper, thermal fish, spicy fish, hot floppers, and of course, the famous mythic goldfish. In this season, we also see the return of the Midas flopper since Midas is around again. However, you can catch this fish everywhere because there isn't like an authority to catch it at. It will be able to be caught everywhere, and it will have a 1 in 100 chance each time a player dips that rod in the water. I don't know why Epic vaulted a few of these floppers. I really don't understand why. They're so cool and unique, but let's add a couple more mythic ones. Now, I really love the idea of the mythic goldfish, which has a 1 in 1 million chance of being caught. I want to expand on that idea, but at the same time, leaving the big mythic one to itself. So, these fish will have a 1 in 1,000 chance of being caught. First up, we have the erase flopper, which is a throwable fish that will deal splash damage. Anyone in that splash will lose their entire inventory, whether it's yourself, a teammate, or an enemy. The player's entire inventory will be completely deleted. And yeah, I know that's ridiculously overpowered, but these are a 1 in 1,000 catch. I think it's fair for them to be a little bit crazy. Next up is the Kevin fish. Once consumed, this will give you a little bit of a purple glow that some cubes flying around you like that give the Kevin energy. You know what I'm talking about? And this will give you the ability that Kevin has, which is once you are shot, a lightning bolt will come from your body and zap the player who shot you for 100 damage. This effect will last for 60 seconds. And lastly, we have the overshield fish. Shout out to all you Halo fans. This fish will grant the user 400 health and once consumed, as well as a green glow around the character. Again, please keep in mind, yes, these may be overpowered, but these are a 1 in 1,000 catch. I wanted to do something fun. We aren't quite done with the loot pool yet, though. I absolutely loved the idea of mythic weapons and bosses in previous seasons. I think they're great, but unfortunately, they created unnecessary hot drops, leading to more than half the lobby being eliminated before even the first circle closes. Instead of mythic items this season, we have a brand new rarity that I've created. This gun rarity is called Compromised. Let me explain. So, on the Fortnite map, Midas's 4 agents are back and rolling around. Sky, TNTina, Brutus, and Meowskulls. With them are also Jules and Kit. However, they aren't exactly the same. They've been through a lot over the seasons. They're beat down and worn out. Their appearance alone will say so they won't look nearly as clean as they did when they were on the map. They will also be carrying around mythic weapons, but believe me, they won't be as strong as a mythic. Instead, they are compromised. As I said, these items have been damaged along with the user. So, items like TNTina's Kaboombo and Brutus's minigun will still function as they did as mythic weapons, gimmicks, and everything, but they will have a chance of backfiring and randomly exploding, damaging the user. 1 second you will think you're about to use the weapon, and the next thing you know, you'll take 100 damage. Want to shockwave yourself with Kit's launcher? That shockwave will sometimes explode instead of you. It'll add a bit more fairness to such powerful weapons, and in my opinion, being a little risky to use. On top of that, the bosses being different in damage would make the weapons fit very, very well into the storyline. So these brand new compromised weapons now are Sky's Scar and Grappler, TNTina's Kaboombo, which brings a whole new meaning to Kaboom, Brutus's minigun, Meows's Pio rifle, and Kit's shockwave launcher. I should also mention that Jules' items are not compromised. Her grappler and drum gun remain how it was in Chapter 2, Season 3. Jules also appears to be the same as she was earlier, not damaged or worn down. On top of that, she will also be carrying a mythic drum shotgun, a new weapon in her arsenal that is just a bit stronger than the original drum shotgun, along with more bullets in the clip. Jules is an inventor, an engineer, what can I say? She needed something else. She's been working for a while. One more thing, I briefly touched on the fact that these bosses and mythic items created hot drops that would slow the pace of the game down and dramatically, because like well over half the lobby would be eliminated after the first circle closed. It was getting ridiculous with these mythic items, and that really wasn't fun for anyone. That was one of the most common criticisms of Fortnite when all these mythics were around. So these bosses will be roaming the Fortnite island randomly. They could be anywhere, swimming in the water at craggy cliffs, in the mountains, you get the point. Also, the bosses are setting up something for Midas, or at least that's what I want to hint at by having them all over the island. So for the most part, they will be minding their own business. However, if they're either attacked or if they're shooting around where they are, they will go on the assault and try to kill everyone. If two bosses happen to be around the same spot, they will work together. A boss boss will never attack another boss. And one last thing, remember they have compromised weapons now, not mythics, with the exception of jewels. Last thing regarding the bosses on the map, remember Midas's new hideout I was telling you about earlier? Well, Midas will be in there, but upon spotting him, he won't look at you. He'll just be hanging around in the house. If you shoot him, he won't attack, and if you kill him, he won't drop anything. He'll just be there, plotting. The lore will be heavy in this first league. Almost done with the new map changes and mechanics. For now, at least, I absolutely love the exotic weapons that have been introduced in the game. The gimmicks and mechanics have been outstanding, and I want them to remain in the Battle Royale game. So, I came up with something pretty simple for them. There will be a 10% chance of an exotic airdrop coming down each match. It will function exactly like a regular supply drop already in Fortnite, but just with a teal balloon. When you open this, 1 or 2 exotic items will come out of it. No new ones, just the ones that have already been in the game. I thought that'd be fun. Final 2 things about the new gameplay that I will go through really quick. A lot of players miss moving zones and pubs, so they kind of return this season. At the end of each game, there will be a complete 50-50 on whether the storm closes at the center of the end game or if the zone will move in like arena. There we go. We can have both, honestly, and I think it worked pretty good. It would satisfy both people. And lastly, hot drops return. We haven't seen them since Chapter 1, and it was one of the best things Epic ever implemented in the game, so I decided to bring hot drops back. Now, that was literally just the launch in your first game on Fortnite. That's all within the first 2 weeks. We're changing the pace up this season, though. Let's listen to this other idea. I thought all the changes I made so far would be more than enough to keep the players occupied while Epic worked out the kinks and bugs that are bound to happen with the arrival of the new season. Now for the big thing. 2 weeks into the season, we will have the big live event. Yes, really early, 2 weeks into the season. Every day for the 2 weeks leading up to the season, there will be more and more going on within Midas's house, and with little hot fixes going and just showing the players that he's up to something. Well, he's been preparing for this device event 2.0. Now you might be thinking something like, hey Kyle, that event was so unoriginal and it wasn't even one of the best. So yeah, you're right, but hear me out, I think I could please you. So when the event begins, everyone will be forced into the mountains at the bottom of the map. Then, all of a sudden, Midas's device will destroy one of the mountains and just soar into the sky. This one will be so much bigger than the first because he's been hiding this for 2 seasons now. That's a lot of time they've been working on this. And guys, keep in mind, remember, I'm not an animator or anything, so you'll have to use your imagination a little bit with me. Anyways, let's get back into it. Can the storm be broken? Let's give it another go. More of the same will happen like in the device event, but magnifying it will last much longer. And keep in mind, this device is going to be so much bigger than the first. Last time around, the device stopped and we were brought to Jonesy's office. That will not be the case this time. Now, I know I definitely don't have a voice anything like the voice actors for Agent Jonesy's, but I made something kind of that would like sound like when you get teleported there. I kind of made it so I wouldn't just have to explain it to you, and I could just kind of show it to you. You know what I mean?
Janice, how did we not see him building another Stormbreaker? Yes, I know it's working. Do you do what we did last time? Raise the water. Make the storm stronger. We can't have anyone leaving the loop. Did it work? Wait, what do you mean it didn't work? Yes, I've seen the size of the device. No, Janice, listen to me. I said we cannot have anyone leaving the loop. Get the Imagine Order out there. I want Midas captured now. I don't care. I do not care. I know what the conditions are like out there, but do you want everything we work for to be a waste? Get them out there.
Now for the cool part, and again, sorry if you didn't like that. I'm not too sure how you guys would like that, my little concepts there with my own voice, because we already have a voice actor for Agent Jones, so hopefully you get the gist. Regardless, I just want to walk you through what's going on with the live event. But anyways, going back thinking about the Galactus event, what I loved about it is that you can actually play, and I wanted to do that again. So you will then be teleported from the office into Midas's workplace right outside where Midas seems to be working. Then you will have to face off with the IO guards. TNT and the rest of the agents will show up to help instruct you on who you need to shoot and help everybody so Midas can escape. After a little bit of really cool music and a bunch of explosions, the IO guards will have been defeated and the agents will start to cheer. You are then sent back to the office with Agent Jonesy. Take a look at what it'd be like.
Well, how'd it go? Wait, what do you mean they couldn't get it? Janice, do you not see what's going on? Do you not see the storm is falling apart? We are running out of time! You know what? I don't care what it does to the island. We need to put a stop to this. Amplify the storm. Set it to max. Yes, I know what the effects can be, but what do you want me to do? Do you have a better idea? If the island gets all out of sorts for a while, so be it. We fixed it before, we can't do it again. We cannot let her find out we failed. I know, Janice, but my mind is made up. If we do not do it now, we will lose. Do you understand? I want total chaos. Now do it before I go over there and do it myself.
The players will then leave the office and get back into the storm. The device will start working harder and harder, but then, all of a sudden, you'll see the entire storm close in and the device will shatter. Midas failed. Then, you'll head back to the office for the last time.
Well, at least it worked. I want eyes on him from this point forward. We can never let something like this happen again. It was too close to a call, so what happened? Did you say storms inside the storm? Well, I'm sure it's nothing we can't fix. It might take a while. Yeah, I'm sure everyone will be able to deal with it. It might make life in the loop a little bit tough for a while, but they'll be fine.
And then the players will get slapped with a to be continued message with an 8-hour downtime for the post live event update. Upon booting the game again, it will obviously be the same season, but now we will see the big gimmick for the season. I'm talking about weather in Fortnite. Midas damaged the storm so much that not only do we have the regular storm, but as we said in the event, we now have storms inside the storm. So remember back in Chapter 2 Season 1 during Winterfest, we saw blizzards get introduced into the game? I know a lot of people took a break during that time in Fortnite, but man, that had to have been one of my absolute favorite things Epic has ever done to the game. It put such a fun and unique twist on the game, and I really thought it was the beginning of something really cool for Fortnite. We've seen fog before, and that's pretty cool, but the blizzards were just something else. So that's what this season's going to expand on, weather. Now, I haven't quite worked on the math for this, but I don't want the weather to happen every single game. Sometimes you'll have games with absolutely nothing going on, sometimes you'll have games where there's a storm covering the entire island, and sometimes there will be a couple small storms on the map. We'll have to leave the percentage to Epic, for they're smart enough to figure it out, definitely not for me. Now, what can happen on the island? Of course, you'll still have fogs and blizzards. They will behave the same way as they did it once they were in the game before, except blizzards. That can only happen around the bottom corner of the map in the vicinity of snow, and if there's any water in the area, it will turn to ice. And remember guys, this won't happen all the time. The storm can be big or small or, you know, any size. It won't happen all the time. It's just don't think that there's going to be weather going on every single game. Anyways, rainstorm and thunderstorms are something that could happen. The longer it rains in the area, the more water that rises. Think Chapter 2 Season 3, but not nearly that much water. Let's say it's been raining for a while at a low part of the map like Coral Castle. Water will then begin to rise there. Get what I mean? And thunderstorms are the same thing except with heavier rain and with the addition of lightning strikes. Now, you won't get struck by lightning very often, but if you happen to, it's going to strike you for 200 damage. Also, if lightning happens to strike builds, it will set fire. Next up, we have tornadoes. Yes, tornadoes can pop up on the island. Tornadoes will wreck any build in their path. If you happen to be near one, you will experience low gravity. The further you are from it, the less it will affect you. And if you happen to touch the tornado, you will go into free fall. Think back in like Season 6 and Season X with the floating island. Yeah, that's what happens when you touch the tornado. Next up, we have sandstorms. This can only happen in the sandy area, which is expanded in case you forgot. There will be a huge visual block for players, and it will make them move slower. It sounds about right for a sandstorm. And lastly, we have hailstorms. This one's a little bit interesting to me. The hail will do 1 damage per second that you are exposed to it, and letting the hail fall on you, it'll hurt. It makes sense. Hail hurts. And to save yourself from any damage, you can simply just put build over your head. And of course, if you aren't outside, this won't affect you at all. Keep in mind that none of these will be present in Arena. So what do you think? I think this is pretty game-changing enough for a new season, so let me know what you think down below, guys. I think weather would put a huge spin on the game. Before we move on to the next part of this video, I want to talk a little bit more about map changes, but I'll make this brief. The Shark survived Jonesy's attack, and there's a brand new emergency wallet deployed, but nobody saw it during the event. The Shark is now recovered completely. And over the weeks in the season, you will see a few new pyramids and temples built for the Ancient Egypt theme, but you know, nothing insane. That will be to be continued in the seasons to come. Now, what are the seasons supposed to be? How long are they? They're supposed to go about, what, 10, 14 weeks without extensions? Let's meet in the middle and make this 12 weeks, and we'll have to fill this up with content. How do we plan to do this? Adding a bit each week with an update, and every week will feature a brand new LTM. Before I talk about the LTMs though, I want to point out that there will be daily LTM rotations. No more waiting for a fat 9 months for Blitz to come back. All of the LTMs will be present this season, whether it's Steady Storm or Floor is Lava, Blitz or Air Royale, whether it's Operation Knockout to 50-50, you get the point. Regular LTM rotations will be here and hopefully to stay for the coming seasons. Anyways, I want a brand new LTM each week, and we are in week 2 with the live event being over with. I want to take from a couple concepts I went over in previous videos with other people came up with, as well as a couple ideas of my own. We have 10 new LTMs this season. I won't spend forever talking about them though, so let's get started. LTM number 1, we have something I've always wanted to see in Fortnite, and this is called proximity. Is this an LTM with proximity mines? Absolutely not. This is a very simple LTM where the only way you will be able to communicate is through proximity chat. You can't hear your teammates unless you're right next to them, and if you're close to enemies, you'll be able to communicate with them as well. And as usual, if you are right next to someone, you'll be able to hear them fully, and the further you get away from each other, the quieter the voice will get. I always thought proximity chat would be fantastic for a Battle Royale as great as Fortnite, and I would absolutely adore playing this. And of course, there will be a huge warning before you press ready saying you might encounter coarse language and things like that. Yes, this isn't for anyone, but that's what the disclaimer is for, right? Let's move on to LTM number 2, which is a concept I've already taken a look at. Mythic Mania. This LTM features all the past mythic weapons that have been in the game for everyone to use. Of course, there might be copyright issues, but knowing Epic, they could get the job done. Won't spend too much time on this. Like I said, we're rapid firing through the LTMs here. An LTM with mythic only weapons would be chaotic and amazing. LTM number 3 is another concept I've looked at before, and this is called Ring of Fire. Here you spawn at the edge of the map instead of dropping from the bus, and you will be able to pull your glider to get away from the spawn point a little bit. The storm begins forming after a few minutes. Like the steady stormy LTM, it does not stop when it reaches the next circle. The storm is tinted orange with some fire particle effects on screen. Wooden builds will ignite if left in the storm, but brick and metal will be unaffected. Chug splashes will spawn more often for healing and putting out fires, and flare guns and firefly jars will spawn from chests to increase the amount of fire on the map. I've seen fire LTM concepts before, but this just puts such a nice spin on everything. I love the fire features been added into Fortnite, and I'm sure many would love this LTM, even with the frame drops. Moving on though, the 4th LTM is called Stabilizing World. It's pretty simple. It will be the main game, but with lots of mechs. Would people play it? Not so sure about everyone, but this sounds like a good time to me. Moving on, once again, our 5th LTM will feature a concept I took a look at a couple weeks ago, Flash Flood. Similar to the mechanics of Season 3, the water would very slowly start to rise. Over time, the island would get more flooded until there is no high ground left. Boats will be available, but watch out for the shark-infested waters below. Build your way to safety before the storm closes in. As I've said a lot on this channel, I absolutely adored the water mechanic in Season 3, and I would love this gameplay. I would love this LTM so much because it puts such a nice twist on the gameplay, and that's what I thrive for. The twist in the gameplay. That's what this whole season's about. Changing things up. Putting a little spin on the Fortnite game. You know what I mean? And we all love Floor is Lava. This would definitely be similar to that, and I'm sure it would be incredibly well received among the community. This just might be my favorite LTM idea I've ever seen. Let's move on to the next LTM. With number 6, we have a storm wall LTM, which is another concept. This one's pretty simple. Instead of a circle, the storm rolls over the island in the form of a wall that gradually sweeps the island. The wall is always tilted to ensure that players are pushed towards a corner. This is very simple and yet unique LTM. Again, I would see a ton of people playing this, especially to spice things up. This LTM would get a lot of good attention. Now, let's head into LTM number 7, and we're getting to the end here, and it's another concept. Tricky Trackers. In this LTM, there is no storm and enhanced mobility, but you can see every other player on the minimap as shown as a small red dot. Mats are tripled and guns are rarer better. Now, when I spoke about this in my previous video, I said that initially taking a look at this, it really doesn't sound that fun. However, when I took a look at the comments and people were talking about how with no storm it could bring back the fort into Fortnite, without the storm and tripled mats, imagine the structures that people could build and all the awesome fights you could have in it. Sounds fantastic to me, so let me know what you think. Do you miss the fort in Fortnite? This could bring it back. That would be another awesome thing to bring back this season, by the way, the fort in Fortnite. That'd be crazy. LTM number 7 is something that I've wanted to see Epic do for a very long time because I think it would honestly do really good numbers. This LTM is called Turbo No, and in this LTM it's the regular game except with the Season X Turbo build nerf. Yes, that's in place. People talk about wanting to experience OG Fortnite again. I am telling you right now, this is the way to do it. Not the Chapter 1 map, not anything like that. Building is the only problem, although it isn't even a problem really. Everyone enjoys the game pretty much, but this would give you that nostalgic old Fortnite feeling, and I think this would be incredible for an LTM, and it would bring a lot of players back to the game if word got out. An LTM is perfect for an idea like this with the turbo build nerf because you all saw what happened last time in pubs. Moving on to LTM number 9, we have another extremely simple one. This is called 150, and it will be the regular game, but with 150 players. People have wanted to experience what Fortnite would be like with more players, and myself included. I feel like this would be a really fun one for the community. Now, for our final LTM idea this season, Water Storm. Can we all agree that the Water Storm we had in Chapter 2 Season 2 was absolutely fantastic? It was only here for a couple weeks, and honestly, that's a shame in my opinion. That would be such a fun way to play around with it more, and it would make a lot of sense for the lore of the season, especially with everything going on with Midas. And that's it for the LTMs, guys. Let me know what you think down below. Please comment, and again, if you're enjoying this video, if you made it this far, please hit the like button. It would help out the channel a ton. And anyways, I would love to play all these LTMs. Which one would you like to play the most? It's tough for me to say, but honestly, I'd probably go with Proximity. Be my favorite LTM ever. We're heading towards the end of the road here, guys. So obviously the big game changers this season is straight up content every week. Each week will feature not a new POI, but a new landmark, and that is Midas's agents getting back to work. Will they have another device? Who knows? But that's up for Epic to decide another season after this one. Maybe they'll just live out their days. Who knows? But you will see hideouts pop in there, like after each update, like a little one. You know what I'm trying to describe, like the ones we've seen before. Maybe even a submarine area off the water, kind of like the yacht. There would be something new like that every week, just along with the LTMs. The LTMs are big for the content every week. Now, something I absolutely adored in Chapter 2 Season 2 was that fact that we had 2 live events. If I'm not mistaken, it's the only season where we've seen it. One was storyline related, and the other one was a collaboration. So why not do it again? If it were up to me, I'd like to see the Marshmallow concert be redone in a complete 2.0 version, trying to outdo the Travis Scott's Astronomical, but honestly, that's open for discussion on exactly who will be hosting the concert. A lot of people want to see Ariana Grande in the game, and I'm not gonna lie, that's not exactly up my alley, but Epic has a way of making me enjoy things that I wouldn't normally enjoy, so I'm gonna go with Marshmallow 2.0. Yeah, I would like to see that one. Now, on the topic of collaborations, what's a season nowadays without collabs? We are keeping these far from the battle pass, as that seems to be what most of the community wants, or, yeah, you know what? I'm not really sure about that now that I'm saying it. Who knows? Actually, it doesn't really matter anyways. None of these are going to be in the battle pass. That's what I've decided. From the Kirby series, we will see King DDD with his Smash Ultimate down taunt as an emote. And who wouldn't wear that? Honestly, probably a lot of people, but I personally wouldn't take it off. Adding to the Gaming Legends series, again, we will be bringing along a long-awaited Mario collaboration, having Waluigi join the Fortnite world, as well as Eggman from the Sonic series. I thought these two would fit in well because they really have the body types that could fit into Fortnite. Mario and Sonic don't exactly seem like they'd fit, so I went with these two, and you could like imagine like Waluigi just like a regular skinny kind of model Fortnite character, maybe even his own model, and Eggman would kind of have like a peely look to him, if that makes sense. I don't know if you can picture it. I think it makes sense. I think these two could be done. Moving on, we bring in characters from 2 popular shows. From Breaking Bad, we see Walter White with an edit style where he's not wearing pants, and along comes Jesse he brought with him. Old show, I know, but this holds a very special place in my heart. The other show coming to Fortnite is Game of Thrones. 2 instant cops, in my opinion, would be Daenerys Targaryen and Jon Snow. I can see these excelling extremely well, or at least I would drop all my money for them, that's for sure. Now we get to a very popular character that has been highly requested forever now, and he brings a friend, Spider-Man and Scarlet Witch. These are 2 very relevant right now, and I'm sure Disney would have absolutely no problem at all signing up to collab with Fortnite and Epic Games again, especially for this. Marvel's been in Fortnite before, why not keep going with it, and especially with characters that you might be trying to promote. Next up, I decided to pick from a couple popular anime characters because we all saw how much positive response came from the community once we received our first anime skins. Well, let's take a look at 2 very popular anime shows, Death Note and Avatar: The Last Airbender. The skins coming to the game will be Light and Ryuk, along with Aang and Zuko. We have Big Brain Clen here. Tell me that wouldn't make Epic Games a ton of money. I have 2 more ideas for you today, one being another co-promotion with the upcoming Halo Infinite game having Cortana join the island. Halo fans like myself would absolutely get this, and I'm surprised they haven't done it already. I'm surprised Master Chief was the only one they brought to the game from Halo. Now for the biggie. New to the Icon series, we have Cypher PK. If you want to talk about a content creator that deserves a skin in Fortnite, look absolutely no further. I won't even entertain the idea of someone else thinking like, hey, you know what, this person gets a skin before Cypher. That's a ridiculous thing to say no matter who it is. The guy has stuck with Fortnite throughout its highs and lows, and to this day, he is still one of the best and most creative content creators of all time. If someone deserves a skin in Fortnite, it's Cypher PK, and with him getting a skin, we'll put an end to collaborations this season. Really quick, guys, last thing I wanted to talk about, and I decided to put it in here and at the end instead of putting it in the Battle Pass section because I didn't want to give away anything about the story. Something I failed to mention about the map changes is after week 5, Rift Zones will begin to make their appearance back in the game. Nothing insane, just a couple. Parts of Wailing Woods will return as well as the Pueblo area. Just a hint that something is going on. These rift zones won't have any gimmicks to them also, but they will morph around the land with them like we saw with Salty Towers and Moisty Palms. And finally, the last thing about this video, that brings us to the secret skin, and that is we finally see the 4th member of the 7, the person behind all these rift zones and mysterious areas going on. We've all missed the 7. It's not a lore heavy season without a member of the 7 around, but we'll see where Epic takes it from there. I'm not going to go too deep into that. We already have our own story in this time around. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. I know this is a really long one. I was talking pretty fast. I didn't want this video to be an hour long, so I want to know what you think. The biggest thing that I wanted from all of this was I wanted a big spin on the gameplay. I wanted everything to feel different. I wanted the loot pool to be big, and most importantly, all this came from the unvaulted LTM. All those people were so happy playing with all these old weapons, and you know what, this loot pool is huge, but every game will be different. You won't get the same thing, and again, if you don't want to play any of this, arena will always be there. So there's fun, and the fact that casual and competitive is very separate is big to me. That's why I went so crazy with changing pubs up, is because arena is staying the same. Arena is staying same. In my opinion, boring. Boring might not be the best word to use for it, but the boring is really the only word I can use for it right now. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think of everything down here, and if you stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching this video. I put a lot of effort into this. So I also have an idea for a complete Chapter 3 revamp and map idea, so if you liked this and you want to see more, just let me know down below, guys. Comment down below, what was your favorite thing, and how would you fix this? How would you edit this season? Give me some criticisms on this. I'm sure there's some you can find. But anyways, guys, thank you again for watching. If you're new here and you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the like button. It would help out the channel a ton. And subscribe if you would like to see more Fortnite and Smash Bros content. 2 more things, guys. If you would like to support me in the Fortnite item shop, my code is Clen-GOKO. All capital letters. Of course, you don't have to support me, but I would really appreciate it if you did. And lastly, I have another YouTube channel I'll put in the description down below. It's called Talking Fights with Kyle. If you like UFC, if you like MMA, any of that, go check it out. I've been posting a lot there lately. Guys, thank you again for watching. Don't forget to comment down below. I really want to talk to you guys about this video, so thank you again. I really appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.